our duty to fight for freedom. It is our duty to win. We must love and protect each other. We have nothing to lose but our change.
It is our duty to fight for freedom.
It is our duty to fight for freedom. It is our duty to win. We must love and protect each other. We have nothing to lose but our chains. It is our duty to fight for freedom.
Welcome to Woke in Central Valley. This is our guest,
Mike Nagel.
and my name is ETHS Reynoso. I'm a student. Today we're going to be focusing on everything that's been going on our campus regarding the white supremacist posters. He has been one of the supportive parents that have been part of this. What is your background like, Mr. Nagel? Sorry.
Filipino American, first generation. My father was born in the Philippines. He came over in the Navy and introduced us to coming here, and his brothers and sisters. So we grew up in the Bay Area, Sunnyvale, Santa Clara, a cornucopia of Filipinos, Mexicans, blacks, whites, everything. Back then, I think racial tension it wasn't much of anything. I mean, everybody lived together copacetically.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on in '76, we moved to San Jose.
Mm-hmm.
Then I started witnessing the cliques of the Filipinos and stuff like that, Mexicans, blacks, and that's when I started taking a gist of different ethnicities. And I grew up in San Jose, met my wife. We came out to Modesto, and that's when I started witnessing a lot of racism. You know, back in the Bay Area, there's a lot of cornucopia, like I said, but when you came out here, it's predominantly Latinos, you know, Filipinos in Stockton, but a lot of Caucasians too, Portuguese, Italian, but that's when we started learning about different racial
Groups.
differences, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think it has gotten worse now or better?
I would say it's been here. It's been prevalent all over the place all the time. It's everywhere you look, but now that it's more prevalent. I would believe that the President of the United States, Trump, he's opening it up more, and he's giving those white supremacists to speak out more, since he's not backing him up. I wouldn't say he's backing him up, but he's not condemning him. He's not saying anything to deter it, but he knows it's prevalent. The president before, he knew it. It's always been around. It's been around for centuries, right? It's been here since from the slave days, but it's always been prevalent, and I believe that it's just I think it's getting worse and worse and worse now.
Unfortunately, it does look
And it's
like
sad. It's sad to see that that's happening right now, you know, and I think we need to speak out.
What has been your experience with racism throughout your life?
Like I said, from the Bay Area,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't witness it firsthand then, but as I got into my profession, heavy equipment operator, and I was introduced into heavy equipment operating union through affirmative action, and because of the fact that there wasn't that many minorities in the trade, heavy equipment operating. It was predominantly Caucasian. So I got in that way, and I learned about affirmative action, you know, that it's now being overruled, right? So as I got into construction and seeing that they're white, I mean, I would get on the equipment and I'd go to the job site and run it, and they would see me being a man of color, Asian, and they would just heckle and call me names, you know, and I could read lips. People could read lips. It's easy. They say chink, slant eye, fish head, and I could read that. But I wouldn't say anything. You know, it irked me, but once they saw me working, you know, I was good at what I did. Like Martin Luther King said, not the color of their skin, but the content of their character. I believe he said that. Don't quote me, but you know, I've witnessed it all around. When we first moved from the Bay Area to Salida, they had cross burnings. They had 2 cross burnings, and it was prevalent, and we never knew about it. My wife would inform me that's what was going on. Albers was, I guess he was one of the grand wizards or something like that for the KKK in that area. And my wife would go to the video store to return videos, and the person who owned the video store would say, "What are you doing so late at night?"
Yeah.
And she would question, "What do you mean?" And said, "Well, you know, just to let you know, you should not be out this late at night." And she says, "Why me?" "Well, you know, your color." And she didn't think anything of it because we never witnessed it in the Bay Area, but she had claimed that her husband was part of some organization that you should probably be careful late out at night. And then she came home and told me about it, and that got my, you know, my ruffles up. And then my kids got it. They were racially, you know, harassed. They were called Chinese N-word, you know, and I was going to the bank one time, and my windows rolled down, hot summer day, you know, Modesto weather, it's hot, and they're saying out loud, "It's getting a little nippy outside, isn't it?" And they're looking at me, you know, they're driving their white truck with their Confederate flags on it, and they had Confederate flags out here, and it scared me. It scared me and the safety of my family. So when my son was called the Chinese N-word, my son kicked them. And after he kicked them, the teacher tried to suspend my son only. And then my wife complained and said, "Well, why don't you suspend the other person?" And he says, "Well, no, your son committed the violence." And she says, well, my wife said, "Well, you know, Modesto B will get a hold of this, and, you know, I don't think it's right. You just suspending my son only," when that other child said the racial epithet.
Yeah.
So the principal suspended both of them, which is only fair. But I've witnessed it a lot through my years of construction, and it's just not right.
And how do you feel about the posters now? The posters that have been on school by Identity of Ropa and other white supremacist groups that we have been talking about?
I think those the literature that are posted up on the campus, I think those guys are just, or those people are just wasting their time putting them up. They should put them in the blue outhouses so we could wipe our asses with them. Because it's just stupid, you know. Us, or you guys, the ethnic studies, they're studying on the ethnicity of the land, of your culture, the house culture, the California culture, of everything. And then you have the white supremacy come and they put their posters up. Now you are just studying ethnicity. You're not boasting your ethnicity, but they want their white supremacy. They think the key word is supremacy.
Yeah.
They think they're supreme. And it's, like I said, through the years of slavery, it's not right, and they're just wasting time. I know you're just going to get a rise out of it if you put your poster over theirs. And then they're going to do the same thing. It's just going to go over and over and over again. But I think something should be done through the higher ups on the campus. They should or she should put her foot down, because white supremacy is, it's not right, you know.
That's true. How do you think we as a school can make a change and maybe prevent from these posters to keep being posted on our schools?
Well, free speech, right? Everybody has free speech. They're allowed to put that stuff up, but if you condemn them, that one group, you're denying them free speech. But they have the right to do that. But like I said, it's not right. Something has to be done, and I don't know if you want to have like separate groups on the campus where they could mind their own business non-violently, but instead of hiding in the shadows and putting their poster up, if they could come out and just say, hey, we're the whites, but as long as it's non-violent, but at least show their faces so we could all get along and we know who they are. You know who we are, but we don't know who you are because you're hiding. They're hiding. You know, and they don't want to come out and say, yeah, we're the white supremacists. If you are white supremacy, I mean, when I went to work before, there's this one guy I worked with. Okay, that's for example. There's this one guy I worked with in construction. He wore T-shirts for years, hot summer days, covered up, long T-shirts. One time it was super hot, and he had to take it off. And he peeled them off, and he had white Aryan everywhere. So for 2 years he was covering it from me, but he never confronted me. He had, you know, the bolt, the eagle, the swastika. But once he revealed that to me, I knew I could take him for face value for what he was. But he didn't bother me, I didn't bother him, but I knew now what he represented. So if they were to open up and just say, hey, this is us, then we know what to do then. And President
Jen?
Yeah, she could have an idea who it is and what she can do. Is that a good enough answer there? I
I
guess.
believe that's a good answer. A lot of the students have felt fear. Do you think that fear is because those students are not showing themselves?
Yeah. How do you feel about it?
I believe it could be that they're not showing themselves, so people are scared because they don't know what they're facing.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. It's like a sickness that you have. You won't know until you find out what it is. And that's the sickness.
Yeah.
You know, they're hiding behind whatever they hide behind, and they can't, you know, of course when they go to protests, they're out, straight out. They're doing this and doing that, you know, fighting this, punching people, just like that one person.
In Charlottesville.
Yes.
Domingo?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now we know who he is, so, but if he's going to come out here, instead of hiding around, let's find out who he is or who his group is. You know, but it's fear. They base it on fear.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they got the upper hand. They go and put that poster up. Oh, we got him now. We're going to scare him now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe they don't think that. I don't know if you're going to watch this, but hey.
How do you feel being part of everything in school and going to all these, the day we went to the Transformative Tuesday and as well as the other time that we did go to the meeting with John, which is the president?
I think it's a good thing. I think that this campus is now taking it hopefully under control of what's going on instead of just putting it away. So it's been here, you've wrote for since 2015?
For a long time. And
For a long time. And now we're just nipping it, or trying to nip it. So it's not right. I think what the higher echelon of the campus, they need to take this under control and deal with it instead of just sweeping it under the rug.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then, oh yeah, the next. series of students will come in. They won't know, but it's now is the time to start doing something about it, especially with our President of the United States. There's good sides on both sides. There isn't. Someone's got to do it, and they should start at the campuses.
That's true.
Each campuses, the high schools, junior colleges. It starts from day one.
How do you feel about your daughter being part of everything and ethnic studies?
I'm proud of her. I'm proud that she's participating in and seeking her education in this. Ethnic studies I just knew a hint of it. But when she started going to this university, and she started enlightening me, when I'd pick her up from work, she'd talk to me what's going on, and I'd start getting interested. And then sometimes I watch a lot of public TV, and I'd be dabbling at night, and I'd watch some stuff on like the San Francisco University riots that they had for ethnic studies.
Yeah.
I saw that, and I said, "Oh, I'm going to tape this. I'll watch it with my daughter." And then I assumed she watched it already ahead of me, but I watched it, and I found out about Samuel L. Jackson was in it. No, Danny Glover.
Oh, yes.
He was participating in it, and I knew about, I started learning myself, educating myself on what happened about the riots that they had, and the sit-ins, and then the Japanese, was it the president of the University of Ethnic Studies?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, did a firing or something like that, but it started to enlighten me, and so it's a powerful thing that's going on with ethnic studies, and she's just been enlightening me on everything, and it's opened my eyes to a lot of other stuff that I'm learning about.
That's good. It's helped you out a lot.
And I wish other parents would, open their eyes and listen to their kids, or even if they can, take a class or something like that.
Is that how you would advise other parents to be part of it? Would you advise them by taking a class, or what other advice would you have for parents?
First of all, I would say at least go into a teach out, or do a teach in, teach out.
Yeah, the
On a
Transformative
Tuesday.
Tuesdays.
Transformative Tuesdays. Right then and there. When I went up there, I was pretty much the old fart in the whole group of people, and I said more parents should be involved in their children's teachings and learning. It would help out the university. It would help out the parents. It would help out the students, because they would be proud to be here with their parent. I don't know how my daughter feels, but I feel that being the only parent so far, I'm trying to do something, trying to learn something. But if we could enlighten the other parents, it would really help out a lot, and they would put their 2 bits in.
Well, any other suggestions for students that are going through this? Students who feel that fear. What do you suggest us as students to do?
Speak out. Make your voices heard. Don't put up with the shit that these groups and organizations are trying to stop you, from sequester you, or whatever they're trying to do, or to scare you. Stand strong, stand your ground, and unite and speak up. Nonviolent protest, of course, but you students need to at least let President June make her decision, because President June, it's going to start with you. I mean, you've been to the meetings that they've had. You've heard it. I know you're a busy woman, but there's time where you have to listen to students, because this is going to keep on going. This is going to keep on going. You've got people from MJC coming in. The high schools are coming in. Turlock High School want to come to this place. And if they find out what's going on, of course, the consequence of that. More students, more money. So, thank you so much for listening.
What do you think about our president now?
President who?
Trump?
I didn't vote for him, so he's not my president. I know he's the president of the United States, but the way he's handling himself, it's non-presidential. The misogyny he does, the lies, the cheating in golf, everything. I've had it up to here with him. He just pisses me off. Everything he says, his taxes, it just fucking pisses me off. You know, I just can't take it anymore. You know, he does everything wrong. Shit! I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was not professional of me. I'm sorry that if I offended you,
It's okay.
or if I offended Melania or Ivanka, Jared, fuck you.
I think we could proceed.